What is up, LudyBros Army? It's your boy, Big Bro Lamar Ludy, coming to you guys with another basketball list today. CBS, a couple weeks ago, they released a top 15 shooters in NBA history list. I had been wanting to sit down and take a look at it just to see who they had on their list, see what their criteria was for ranking players, see if it was any different from the ESPN list that I did a live reaction video to a couple weeks back. If you want to go check that out, I'll have a card pop up for you for that. But today I wanted to sit down and check out this top 15 shooters of all time list. So let's go ahead. We're going to dive right into it. Let's go ahead and check out the title, Top 15 Shooters in NBA History. CBS Sports ranks the greatest of all time, from Stephen Curry to Ray Allen. All right, let's see. So the list is headlined by 5 active players, including 2 from the Warriors. Okay, we can see that. But let's go ahead and see, how this is going to break down. We'll go ahead and start scrolling down. Oh, they're going the other way. So we've got the #1 shooter of all time coming in as Stephen Curry. They're saying it's not even a debate. He's the 6th most accurate three-point shooter in league history at over 43% for his career, which is just a ridiculous number when you consider the volume and the difficulty of his shots. And he's not just a three-point shooter. He's going to kill you from the mid-range with floaters and runners off the dribble, off the catch. One of the best off-the-ball movers to ever play. He has every shot in the bag. Okay, that's fine. Stephen Curry, you can shoot. You can shoot lights out. When you come across half court, we know that you're going to be looking to pull the trigger. But the fact that they say that it's not even a debate, you know what? You're wrong. It is a debate. You can sit down and you can make an argument against Stephen Curry. There's other guys who've stepped up, who've hit bigger shots with, some would say, even lesser talent around them, and been able to come in clutch for their team. So the fact that they want to just open and shut the door on this and say it's not even a debate, hey guys, stop watching ESPN highlights and then formulating your opinion on that. Curry played for quite a few years before hitting those championship strides with the Golden State Warriors. And he was shooting, but it's not like he was killing everybody in the NBA the way that he is able to now when you have more weapons on your team, especially when you have a guy like Durant and another guy like Klay Thompson. That's going to free you up to take a lot of shots. So I'm not going to argue that he's one of the best shooters of all time, but the fact that they want to say that it's not a debate, no, you're wrong, flat out wrong. There is a debate. I can sit down here and there's other shooters that I'm going to take, and I'm sure I'm going to pull them from right off of this list, and they're going to be able to do more for me than Curry. So I kind of wish that they didn't go, that they didn't start from the top. That takes away all the, oh man, and they've got Klay Thompson #2. Okay, right now, right away, this list, I'm not going to give this list as much clout as I thought I was going to sitting down to watch this. Let's see. For my money, Curry's 2015-16 unanimous MVP season in which he hit 402 three-pointers at 45% clip has never been and might never well be topped. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But, I have an argument with him being the only unanimous MVP in NBA history. I know this is a shooting list video, but, come on. I'm not taking him over guys Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those guys didn't get unanimous MVP, and you expect me to go along with Curry getting unanimous MVP. Sorry, not doing it. Okay, Klay Thompson, #2. Guys, CBS seems to be a prisoner of the moment here with this list. Klay Thompson can shoot. Stephen Curry can shoot. But the top 2 shooters of all time ever, and look at this, they're the 2 best shooters ever, period. Shut your mouth. Brad Botkin. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research on this guy. Let's go ahead and check out what he wrote, though, because he also did the Curry one too. When former Warriors coach Mark Jackson said Curry and Thompson were the greatest shooting backcourt in NBA history, people laughed at him. Turns out he was actually being conservative. They're the 2 best shooters ever, period. Now, Mark Jackson, I like him. I like him as an analyst. I like him as a coach. I think he was a very solid, very good NBA player for a long time. But he likes to say things and blow things a little bit out of proportion. Now, when you pair Curry and Thompson, you have a lights out duo in the backcourt. Yes, that's true. But the 2 best shooters, period. No, I'm sorry. And actually, you know what? I might even put Thompson as a better shooter than Curry. I might put him as a better, more stable shooter than Curry, to tell you the honest truth. So let's see. Thompson owns the record for most three-pointers made in a single game with 14. Dude hit 14 threes in a game. He wants to need just 29 minutes and 11 dribbles to score 60 points. Curry is the better, more versatile shooter, but nobody is more flammable than Thompson. No, I actually shoot. Even this right here is saying that Klay can get you in different ways. Klay's bigger than Curry, stronger than Curry. It'd be interesting to see how Thompson would fare without a shooter like Curry alongside him. That's exactly what I just said. If you take those two apart, let's see if you're still calling them the two greatest shooters in NBA history. It's a lot easier when you're able to shoot one-on-one and you got to go single coverage on guys. So let's go ahead and see what would happen if you take them away. But hey, you know what? They play together. Can't hate on that. I'm not going to. All I'm going to say is that we've got to go ahead and look down this list, and to make little statements like this, ever, period, like as if the doors are shut on that. No, shut your mouth. You're wrong. Ray Allen. Okay, Ray Allen is history's greatest endorsement for routine. The infamously meticulous Allen maintained the same pregame regimen for his entire career. Before each contest, he'd take approximately 300 shots all across the court and in varying degrees of motion. As chaotic as his legendary game-time three-pointer at the end of the Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals may have appeared, for Allen, it was a simple matter of muscle memory. Yeah, that's true. If you watch highlights of Ray Allen, if you change his jersey from Bucks to Sonics to Celtics to Heat, I mean, it's the same exact form. The same exact form. It's a beautiful shot, catch and shoot. Ray Allen, number 3 on the list. That's an interesting spot to have him. Like I said, I wish they would have done this list the other way around, from the lowest to highest. So let's see what's next. Larry Bird. Okay, now to me, I feel like Larry Bird is a better shooter. To me, I feel like Larry Bird might be a better shooter. Well, shoot, like I said, I'm not going to just have Curry up here for that. I mean, look at the degree of difficulty Larry Bird had on his shots. The 4th best shooter in NBA history was the weakened version of Bird. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this guy out. Had Larry Bird played in an era as NBA friendly, 3-point friendly as today, he might well have topped this entire list. Okay, there you go. See, that's what I'm saying. When you start making comparisons across eras, that's where things get difficult. Stephen Curry is the type of player that the NBA was hoping to come out the pipe when they made the rules change back in 2004 season. And here he is now. You know, you got a guy who can score, he can shoot from anywhere. But if you take a guy like Larry Bird and you give him that same free reign, I mean, Larry Bird's bigger. Once again, same arguments with Klay Thompson and Curry. Bird's bigger, he's stronger, and you know, I'm gonna have Larry Bird shooting the shot, last second shot. If I have Bird and Curry on the same team, I'm giving the ball to Bird, and he's gonna be the one to take that last shot for me. Bird was a lethal shooter from practically anywhere on the floor. He led the NBA in free throw percentage 4 times, top 40% from the arc 6 times, and is one of only 8 members of the vaunted 50-40-90 club. 50% of his field goals, 40% of his threes, and 90% of his free throws. Okay, Reggie Miller, number 5. Now, I can see Reggie Miller being number 5 on this list because of the fact that, I mean, he's more known for his three-point shot and not for anything in the mid-range. So I can understand him being ranked 5. I do think that the guys that made it ahead of him, you know, they're better all-around shooters than him. But if we're just talking about the three-point shot alone, I mean, there was a point in time where Miller was widely considered to be the greatest shooter of all time. Before Allen came along, Miller was the all-time leader in made three-pointers as he connected on 2,560 shots from long distance. And he's sitting behind Allen, though he's likely to be passed by Curry in the near future. He's already been passed by Curry in the greatest all-time shooter conversation. And here's, I guess, Michael Kasky, Blowmain. You know, I guess I'm in the minority, but you know what? I have no problem being in the minority, and I'm going to keep saying what I think. I don't think Curry, the greatest of all-time shooter. I'm just not going to give it to him. So, not yet. He's going to have to come out here. He's going to have to catch Ray Allen and do something more for me to go ahead and do that. Miller was the most feared shooter in the league during his day, as entire defensive schemes were dedicated to limiting his long-range production. And this is another thing. Miller did not play with another all-time great shooter on his team. If you remember those teams that he played for with the Pacers, he didn't have other knockdown shooters. He was the weapon from the three-point line. I mean, look at the guys that he was playing alongside. You know, you've got the Davis brothers. You've got Mark Jackson, who was sitting up there talking about Curry and Klay. None of those guys were knockdown shooters. So that was all Miller. Miller had to carry that load. And you know that the Pacers were dedicating their game plan to getting him open and running him off screens. And he still was able to step up and hit those threes. I figured we'd see the Kyle Korver on this list. If we're talking purely about the act of shooting, Korver deserves to be higher on this list. Just 5 years ago, he had perhaps the best shooting season in history, non-Curry division, with a 69.9 true shooting percentage and a 49.2% three-point percentage. Korver's not the kind of player you're going to ask to get a bucket in isolation. See, that's the truth. You couldn't ask him to go out and get you the ball. He's got to be being fed by somebody else in order for him to go ahead and make those shots. So, okay, Kyle Korver at 6. All right, we got 15 here. Steve Nash. Nash's only real shot as a shooter flaw as a shooter was that he didn't shoot enough. You know what? I remember watching those Phoenix Suns teams when they would go up against the Lakers in the Western Conference playoffs, or they go up against the Spurs in the Western Conference playoffs, and I remember yelling at the TV like, Nash, you've got to shoot the ball more, because whenever the team needed a bucket, he would be able to provide it. And if he offered more offense, aside from setting up the table for other people, they might have had a chance to score some more, win some more games, and Nash might have been able to make it, to an NBA Finals. In recent years, Nash has repeatedly said he regrets not being more selfish. So there he's going and saying it himself. His personality favored creating for others, and the league wasn't particularly enlightened about three-point shooting at the time. But while a version of Nash that launched off the dribble threes with no conscience will have to remain a fantasy, the version we got was phenomenal in its own right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Nash could shoot. Just asking him to shoot more, and he might have had a different, maybe a different, little bit of a different ending for his career. KD, Kevin Durant at number 8. One could make the case for Durant based on efficiency alone. 38% from the deep, 88.3% from the line, one of the most accurate mid-range shooters who has ever lived. But no one with similar stats is above about 7 feet tall with the ball handling skills to create a shot at any time. Kevin Durant, on this list so far, Kevin Durant has got the ability to score more easily than anybody else that we've seen so far. And the fact that he, like they just said right here, the efficiency alone, I mean, he can pull up from three on anybody, just about anybody in dang near NBA history. And it's like, oh my gosh, when he goes to shoot the ball, that's how I'm feeling. Every time he pulls up, I'm like, oh God, like there's another three. He's gonna hit it so high that his shot release is so quick and so high that defenders are hopeless to affect it. Yeah, that's true. Opponents feared everybody we've ranked here, finding a way to get open, especially in big moments. But how many players are capable of grabbing a rebound, galloping down court, and smoothly stepping into three over LeBron James on the game's biggest stage? We've seen him do that. Dirk Nowitzki at number 9. Now, I got into it with a buddy of mine. Shout out to Clay Hertel. We were into a little argument comparing KD and Dirk. And yep, KD's a better shooter than Dirk. Now, before I even jump into this, the fact that Dirk Nowitzki was such a big man who could shoot the three. I mean, he's a power forward / center. You could have him play the center if you want. And he's stepping way out there to shoot the three with some serious efficiency. He deserves to be on the all-time shooters list. This is for sure. Number 9 is probably about right. When it comes to shooters who have changed the game, Nowitzki should be high on that list for the pure fact that he was a 7-footer pulling up from beyond the arc without hesitation and knocking him down. During an era where power forwards were still considered post players who rarely stepped out of the post, Nowitzki stretched the floor all the way out to the three-point line and was a serious threat. Okay, the issue I have with this sentence, let's see, Jasmine Wimbish. Okay, the thing is that Dirk played at a time when guys were getting more used to, they were not rarely stepping out of the post anymore. We were seeing guys, Kevin Garnett is a contemporary of Dirk Nowitzki, and he was, really the forefront, the prototypical power forward for what we have now in today, being able to do everything, a small forward in a power forward's body, or, something along those lines. Chris Webber could step out. I mean, Chris Webber was stepping out, shooting long jump shots regularly. Dirk, Chris Bosh was stepping out, and he, when he was playing in Miami, he was actually stepping out, and he added that three-point shot to his game. So I'm not going to say, and Rasheed Wallace, I'm going to throw some names out there of guys who are stepping out to the three-point line as power forwards. Dirk played in that era where the power forward was adding the three-point shot to his game. So I'm not going to say that, they could do more. It wasn't a thing that they were rarely stepping out of the post. It's not just his three-point shooting either. Nowitzki could fill it up from anywhere. Yep, he would have that little fadeaway, one-legged fadeaway. There it is from the free throw line, and he's knocking that down regularly over people. Steve Kerr, number 10. All right, this is a good name to see on the list. When all is said and done, Kerr might be better known for coaching the two greatest shooters of all time than for his own shooting proficiency as a player, but he's more than deserving of a top 10 spot himself. Kerr is the all-time NBA leader in career three-point percentage with 45% and holds 2 of the 5 best single-season three-point shooting percentages in league history. That's nice. Yes, those are 2 of the seasons where the NBA experimented with a shorter three-point line. Hey, you know what? You got to play within the rules, so that's fine. But he also shot 50% in 1989 and 90, which is the 8th best percentage of all time. All right, Kerr, I'll give you some props for that. And of course, he proved his clutch metal numerous times throughout his career, most memorably by hitting a series-winning 17-footer off of a pass from Michael Jordan. To go ahead and get that 97 title over the Utah Jazz. My little bro and I, we sat down and we hit every single Chicago Bulls documentary video. If you haven't seen them, go start with the first episode and go all the way through to number 10. You will not regret it. Please take some time and go do that. I'm going to have a card pop up with that for you guys. JJ Redick, number 11. Okay, before I even get into JJ Redick, if you know me, you know that I'm not a JJ Redick fan. I'm not a fan of this guy. Let's go ahead and see. Well, let's see. Sam Quinn. Okay, Sam Quinn's a good name for basketball. JJ Redick. No single player's career more closely mirrors the growth of the three-point shot as a whole than JJ Redick's. Despite displaying elite shooting ability from the moment he was drafted, Redick was, in many ways, an afterthought early in his career. In 5.5 years in Orlando, he started only 41 games. This came on a fairly innovative Magic team. Okay, so for the first 5.5 years of his career, he only started 41 games. So let's see how he ends up making this list. As Redick aged, though, the NBA aged with him. He became a full-time starter in Los Angeles with the Clippers. By the time he reached Philadelphia, the market deemed him worthy of a $23 million salary. That he averaged his career high in scoring at the age of 34 says it all. Redick's shooting has been a constant. It took years of change on the part of basketball world to properly appreciate it. Better late than never. Redick is the NBA's perpetual motion device, dang near running a marathon every time he steps on the floor in an effort to get open. Okay, so I don't see any numbers here. They haven't given me any numbers. Sam Quinn, to validate him being at number 11 all time on the list, I'm taking him off the list based off that. Peja was a key floor spacer with the early 2000s Sacramento Kings, one of the most entertaining teams the NBA has ever seen, and perhaps one of the best to never win a title. 6'10" small forward. Now, like we said earlier, talking about Dirk, guys who are 6'10", they can play the power forward, and a lot of times they were. That's the height that a power forward was listed at. But Peja's playing the small forward. He shot 40% from behind the arc for his career and hit 41% on nearly 6 attempts per game during his prime with the Kings. His unorthodox shot delivery, where he brought the ball up closer to the left side of his body, made contesting the right-handed Stojakovic difficult, particularly given his size. As evidence of his shooting brilliance, Stojakovic twice led the league in free throw percentage, making nearly 93% in a couple seasons, and shot 89% from the line. Yep, Peja finally got his ring with the 2011 Dallas Mavericks in his last NBA season, where he's knocking down 37% of his threes during that postseason run. Okay, see, that's what I like. Give me some numbers. Give me some proof. Sam Quinn, where's your proof? Okay, Mark Price. Now, that's a name that I haven't heard for a long time. Old school Cleveland Cavaliers. Tremendous all-around point guard who was ahead of his time in terms of his style of play. Price has the third best career free throw percentage in NBA history and shot 40% from three during his 12-year career. One thing that separated Price from his sweet shooting contemporaries was his ability to hit jumpers off the dribble, even from the three. When his feet were still, however, you could forget about it. He showcased his shooting supremacy by winning back-to-back three-point contests in 93 and 94. If Price was just a spot-up shooter, he might have made this list anyway, but the fact that he was a complete player with 4 All-NBA selections, including a first team in 93, makes his accomplishment as a shooter even more noteworthy. He wasn't just standing around waiting for looks, a la Kyle Korver. Chris Mullin, another shooter. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally have a lefty. Though James Harden has made a compelling case behind him, Mullin stands for now as the greatest left-handed shooter in the history of basketball. Left-handed shooters are always going to appear unorthodox. It goes in, but it just looks weird. Hey, Dad, don't get upset. Of course, given his resume, he likely would have made this list no matter which appendage he used to shoot. Mullin's early career three-point numbers were fairly pedestrian as he relied on the mid-range game that got him through college, but boy, did he make up for lost time later on. Mullin converted on only 32.8% of his long-range attempts in his first 7 seasons, but caught fire in the 92 Olympics by making just under 54% of his shots from behind the arc. He never looked back. See, Sam Quinn, here you are. You're giving me a bunch of numbers. This is the type of stuff I like to see. Wish you would have done that before. Drazen Petrovic. Now, too bad that we did not get to see this guy's entire career. It's really too bad. It's a shame that he lost his life before we were able to see all that. Shout out to Drazen Petrovic and his family. Here's all you need to know about Drazen Petrovic. He spent only 3 seasons as a starter in high-level professional basketball. Yet, anecdotally speaking, there are still those who will swear his several spots too low on this list. I'm sorry, but we didn't get to see all of it, so there's no way that we're going to be able to know. And Sam Quinn once again bringing this to light. Okay, Drazen, I wish that I wish we would be able to see his whole career. So I'm not, I can't have him on a list like this. I would take him off the list. For me personally, I'm taking JJ Redick off this list, and I'm going to put a couple other shooters up in here. Guys like James Harden, I feel like he could have been able to make this list. And I really wish that they would have gone the other way, but since this was a live reaction video, I just went ahead, clicked on it, started scrolling down. So we've got, you know, they're saying Stephen Curry is the #1 guy, and they're saying that it's not even a debate. Well, you know what? It is a debate, and I would love to sit down with these writers and go ahead and debate that. All right, well, hey, if you agree with this list, disagree with this list, agree with me, disagree with me, either way, no matter what, go ahead, please, please, please hit us up in the comments down below. LudyBros Entertainment, we're trying to bring you guys a wide range of topics and things to talk about, things to watch, things to enjoy. This was one of them. For me, I actually enjoyed sitting down going through this list. I love talking basketball. I've said in previous videos. Please, hey, hit me up in the comments down below. If there's anything you want me to take a look at, go ahead, get in contact with us. Let us know. We'll take a look at it. We'll be glad to sit down and talk about it, make a video about it for you. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time.